Okay. In previous class, we discussed about like what is an interface, and we defined the what is an interface blueprint of the class, and it will have the only abstract method. And we have defined what is abstract method, and we have created the one abstract method here, right? So that's what we have discussed actually. So from where we will start it actually. So abstract method, what we defined actually, the method which is having the method declaration and does not have the method body. So we use it to have the abstract keyword to make that a method as a abstract method. So that's what we have discussed in the previous class, right? So from where we will going to start it. So the next point is, so as you said, like we have written the abstract method. So, but what is the advantage of writing this abstract method? So as we know, we are trying to achieve the abstraction, means hiding the implementation, and we have the only declaration. That is what called abstraction. So that's what we are achieving with interface. So now my question is, so where do I have this implementation? So I have written the interface. I can able to see this is an interface, and you are here, you can able to see the I mark. But here what you have to understand is where we will have this implementation. So we are hiding this implementation, that is fine. So where we will have this implementation. So to have the implementation, we have to write another class. Okay, so I'm writing the another class, sample class. So we are using the inheritance concept here. So let me tell you what is inheritance basically. Inheritance is nothing but extending one class features into another class. Here we are inheriting features of this demo interface in a sample class. So this is also called as the like inheritance. So here two things. We have the extends keyword that we have to use, extends keyword that we have to use when we extend the class. Means when we wanted to inherit a class, we will use the extends keyword. When we wanted to inherit an interface, we have to use the implements keyword. So this is the difference between these two things, interface and class. So when you wanted to when you wanted to achieve the inheritance for a class, we have to use the extends keyword. When you wanted to achieve the inheritance for an interface, we have to use the implements keyword. So public class sample, it implements. So it implements demo interface. All right. So here I have written the same one. Okay. C and Control V. The first thing what you have to understand here is the moment I implement that interface, in this class, here you can see the red color mark that is giving the compilation error. And what it is saying is, boss, when you implement the interface, you have to implement the methods which is present in that interface. What it is telling, boss, when you implements the interface, in a class, the same time you have to implement the all methods that was present in the interface. Okay, so now here we have one abstract method. So what it is telling, boss, you have only declaration there, you can have the implementation here, right? Here you can see I have added that method. So here you can write the implementation, whatever the implementation that you wanted to write it, you can write it here. Okay, this is how the interface will work. So we will not have the implementation there. We will have the implementation in different class, whichever class that implementing that interface, we will write the implementation there, right? So this is what interface is called. How the interface will work, hope you understood. When you have the class which is try to implement the interface, that has to be implement that method which is present in the interface. So whatever the class that implements that interface, it has to implement all the abstract methods that is present in the interface. Now let me tell you a couple of interview scenarios. Hope you understood with what is interface. Let me tell you a couple of scenarios that usually ask in like interviews. So the first thing, okay, so when you have the interface which is implementing by two different classes, right? So another class it is Koti. Okay, so now I'm trying to implement this. These all are the couple of real-time scenarios that I'm trying to explain. So implements the demo interface. Here, very important point that you have to remember is one interface can be implemented by any number of classes. Okay, very important point. So here you are trying to implement that interface. Here what we have to understand, one interface can be implemented by any number of classes. In a sample class, I have implemented that interface. In a QWERTY class, I have implemented that interface. Here, second important point. So you have already implemented that method in a sample class. And you will tell that, boss, I have already implemented in another class. I will not implement in this class. That should not be the case. Okay, you have to implement all abstract methods. We have to implement all abstract methods present, abstract methods present in the, we have to implement all abstract methods present in the interface. We have to implement all the abstract methods present in the interface, whatever classes that implements the interface. So here, very important point, no matter how many classes that implementing, each and every time you should have the implementation. Now, very important thing. So can we have the same implementation in all the classes? Important question again. Can we have the same implementation in all the classes? No. You can have the different implementation if you want, and you can use this same also. Okay, now we can have the different implementation as well as you can have the different implementation, and if you wanted to write the same, you can write it. Right. So now I will try to show you two different scenarios also. Right. So here the first scenario which I'm trying to show, I am writing the same implementation here. Okay, I can write the same implementation. If I wanted to modify, I can modify. Okay, so that is my choice. Okay, this is one of the scenario that we should be aware of it. Very, very important scenario. You should be able to know it, right? So the scenario is if an interface implemented by multiple classes, all classes need to be implement all the abstract methods present in the interface. And second thing, implementation can be your choice. You may have the same implementation and you may have the different implementation also. Clear. Now, important thing is this is an abstract method that we have written here. Can we have the non-abstract method in interface? This is also one of the important question and topic that we should know it. Okay, can we have the non-abstract method? Can we have the non-abstract method? Non-abstract method means the method which is having the method declaration and the method body, right? I'm writing like this and you can see it is erroring out and it is telling me that boss, it is an interface. I am not allowing you to write non-abstract method. Non-abstract method is nothing but the method which is having the method body. This is method body. Inside whatever the content that you are writing, that is the method body. So we have covered the second scenario. And very, very important point, do we need to write the abstract keyword for a method which is present in the interface? What will happen if I'm not writing here? Right? You can see I have removed it abstract method. But in the definition, what I told you, a method which is having the method declaration and does not have the method body, and we should use the abstract keyword. That's what we have defined for the abstract method. But when I write here, I haven't added the abstract keyword. What will happen if you don't add the abstract keyword, right? So when you write, very important, when you write the abstract method, when you write the abstract method in interface, when you write the abstract method in interface, we no need to add the abstract keyword. So if you are adding also, no worries, no problem at all, but we no need to add. The reason we should know. So the reason, because interface having the, so this is the reserved word, interfacing having the capability to add the abstract keyword during the runtime. Okay, that is the reason you no need to add it. Okay, very important scenarios. So total we have covered couple of scenarios. So let me paste all scenarios together. So these are the scenarios that we have covered so far. Next important point. Can we have the static methods in interface? So here is an important question again. Can we have the static methods in interface? So static methods are not allowed in interface. If you see, it is giving the comparative error. In interface, we cannot have the static methods. So we cannot have the static methods, right? Next point. I wanted to write a final method here. So now see what will happen. Final methods are not allowed. I will tell you why final methods are not allowed. See, as I told you, here we will have only method declaration. We will not have the method body. When you try to extend, this is inheritance, right? What will happen here? Whatever the methods that was present in the interface, everything needs to be implemented. Means you are overriding with this functionality and you are implementing new functionality here. So can we override the final methods? As I told while discussing about the final keyword, I will cover some topics when we discuss about the abstraction. That's what I told. Now I wanted to recall the same. When you are making this abstract method as a final, you are not allowing some other class to implementing it. You are not allowing some other class to implementing it. That's why we are not allowing the final keyword for the abstract methods, right? Clear. So next important point is, can we have the main method in interface? Okay, these all are the important questions and we should have the basic knowledge on these all questions. Can we have the main method in interface? Yes, we can have it, but you cannot perform any operations. And another important fact is, have the interface, that is demo interface, and object equals to new demo interface, that I'm writing it. Right, I'm trying to create an object for an interface, right? Here is the important point again. We cannot create the object for an interface. So very important point is, we cannot create the object for interface, right? And I wanted to explain more scenarios. These are the real-time scenarios, right? So I will write it here like real-time scenarios. Related to interface, right? The first thing is, this is the QWERTY class. So far I'm using the sample first. Let me write two interfaces. Okay, let me write two interfaces. Create new interface. Second inter. You have created new interface and you have added one more method, public void multiplication. Right? Now, a class can implement the multiple interfaces or not? That is an important question. In Java, what we discussed is when we discussed about the inheritance in Java, we cannot achieve the multiple inheritance. That's what we have discussed when we discussed about the inheritance. What is multiple inheritance is called? One class can extend the multiple classes. One class can extend the multiple classes. That is called multiple inheritance. And by the way, Java is not supporting multiple inheritance. Java is not supporting the multiple inheritance, right? But by using interfaces, we can achieve the multiple inheritance. We can achieve the multiple inheritance. How we can achieve is in a single class, we can write the, or we can implement the, multiple interfaces. Okay, so I will tell you how. So there is a class called sample. In this class, we have implements the demo interface. At the same time, I wanted to implement another interface, that is the second interface, right? Okay, so here if you see, this is the another interface. So now what is happened, it is showing some error in a compile time error, and what it is telling, boss, whatever the methods, abstract methods that was present in the demo interface that you have implemented, but whatever the abstract methods that is present in the second interface that you haven't implemented, please implement it. So that's what it is telling, and we have this implementation. Let me write this implementation. We'll see, and let me have the implementation here. And it is x into y, and it is z. Right? So here what you have to understand is when a class implements the multiple interfaces, in that class, it is mandatory to have the, in that class, it is mandatory to have the, in that class, it is mandatory to have the implemented, mandatory to have the implemented methods for all the abstract methods present in the all interfaces. Abstract methods present in the all interfaces. Clear? So this is some kind of a real-time scenarios. I will explain more scenarios in further videos. So this is one of the real-time example. So what I'm trying to say you, if there is a class which needs to implement multiple interfaces, you can achieve that it is supporting the multiple inheritance, and you can implement all the methods present in the all the interfaces. That is important point. Clear?